fairness, I think I probably should give the city 3 minutes if you'd like to take. You don't have to take it.
Thank you. The city would urge the board not to grant the exemption. The burden is on the proponent to show public convenience and necessity. We don't think that they've met that burden. The ISO estimates for a need is pushed out to 2014. That combined with the failure to provide any data with regard to local impacts on the EJ area, the lack of a health study that addresses those specific health impacts that may be posed by the plant, in addition to the disproportionate burden that the EJ community is already bearing. I think those 2 points combined would warrant the board voting against the exemption.
Before we vote, or is there any other comment by, Mr. Hibbert?
Well, I would just like to clarify my thoughts on this, given the comments by the city and by the project proponent. The siting board today has approved the facility and approved the transmission line. What we're talking about is a request for the siting board to approve the petitioner's request to be exempt from the local zoning ordinances of the city. And in that case, I don't believe it's appropriate for us to take that lightly, that there needs to be demonstrated benefits that warrant us overriding the local authority of the town to judge what's in its best interest. And so that is what's in the back of my mind when I'm thinking through the benefit cost test that has to be met in order for us to come to a determination of public convenience and necessity. The benefits that have been ascribed to the facility by the project proponent will, in my view, happen regardless of whether or not this facility gets constructed. So I don't see the benefits as existing as stated by the project proponent, and thus I don't think we really have a basis. I don't think it's inconsistent with the department or the siting board's past precedent to come to a conclusion that based on the balancing test, the company has failed to meet that in warranting a determination of public convenience and necessity.
Mr. Coleman.
I would like to add to that from my perspective. I think it's a pretty daunting authority the board has to override local zoning laws. In previous cases that I've been involved here in the board, we have told the proponent go to the local boards first. So I'm agreeing with Mr. Hibbert that to exercise that authority requires a really excellent showing that the benefits are worth us using that power. And so I'm agreeing that in this case that has not been shown. And further, just to reiterate what he said, that we're not actually saying no to the plant. As our previous vote indicated, we voted for a tentative decision to approve the plant. This is, to me, a very separate issue.
I would just add to that decisions that we've made in terms of approval prior, but also this one, I take very seriously, and I feel I've done my best to listen, read the record, and it is a very full one in terms of trying to do exactly what we do. I mean, the words are very simple: balance, the impacts. But when you hear all the input, when you use your best judgment and you factor everything in, plus also, as Member Sidney said, we do have a new day in terms of where the Commonwealth is looking to guide its future energy policy, but where you don't have that guidance. So I would love to be able to say we have this guidance in the future, and future projects bring these, and you would be granted the exception because it truly brings the benefits of public convenience and necessity. So I would just say that, just thank you to the time and attention and input from everyone, but I do feel comfortable in where we are deciding at this one, if it is a final vote.
Mr. Sidney?
Thanks. Mr. Rosenzweig mentioned that Mr. Hibbard referenced a unique standard test, which was, Mr. Rosenzweig said was inappropriate for our standard. Without weighing in on that issue, I would only say that I don't think we even, that the proponent has met the substantial benefit test. We heard extensive discussion this morning regarding the modeling on the air emissions, but it really sort of got into the assumptions that went into the GE modeling based on assumptions and the SELT report, I believe, that is now dated, and also did not take into consideration the enhanced energy efficiency efforts of New England states and Massachusetts in particular. I think that had those kinds of assumptions been incorporated into such a model, there might have been a different result, and it might have reflected, as I believe we heard, even less of a, quote, substantial benefit or benefit at all of this facility. So I feel as if the discussion we had this morning substantiates our position on this.
Yeah, I agree with Mr. Sidney's assessment that I don't think we have to go to a sort of unique benefit standard. I think in a balancing test, the company has not shown that it should prevail on balance, and it hasn't, in my view, shown that there is in fact a substantial benefit to this plant in light of what we know about or project about the energy needs of the Commonwealth and what else is in the queue, some of which will certainly be constructed in the future. Mr. Hughes?
I personally think this is a viable project, and I hope that our failure to grant the zoning exemption doesn't keep the town and the developer from being able to resolve the issues and can go forward with this project. I think it's a needed project, and when you look beyond the present state of the economy, look far enough down the road, what we're going to need the energy, and that the plant should be constructed.
Further comments?
Madam Chair, would it be appropriate if
Can you identify yourself?
sure, Brooke Scully from the National Grid. I just wasn't sure if it would be appropriate or acceptable if I just made a couple of quick comments on it as an introduction to the proceeding.
Yeah. No, we're not allowing further comments. Any further questions or not questions, but comments or issues that board members want to raise? If not, I'd like to have a vote on the motion, which is to deny the requested zoning exemptions. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All those opposed? The vote is 1 opposing and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in favor. Yeah. And just to be clear, that includes both the individual and the comprehensive zoning exemptions. Are there any other matters that we need to discuss? If not, can I have a motion to adjourn?